City Wrestling.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Grind City Wrestling. I am Dustin Starr. Be sure to follow us on social media at Grind City Media. Get caught up on all the previous episodes and the archive. It's grindcitymedia.com/podcast. Last week, it was all about the return of CM Punk, and so this week, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to keep the same energy. It is bell time. Introducing first is my co-host, my tag team partner. He's an A-lister. It's E-Rock, Eric McMahon. What's up, E?
Oh, man, I'm excited to share receipts today. If you ain't going to be transparent, 5-star, we are bringing out the receipts.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but we'll get there. You can follow Eric on Twitter at E_MacLife. You guys are going to love this way too much. Introducing the third man in the trio. We are the Trio Tag Team Champions. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Devin Walker. Baby! What's up?
My brother, won't you testify? Today we keeping it real on this damn podcast, man. We are keeping it real. We keeping it 100 because all these damn episodes on this podcast, 5-star comes in here with his slick back hair and his suit and his ties, and he does the company man thing. But this weekend, we got the real 5-star. Y'all about to hear from him. We're about to hear from the real 5-star today, buddy.
Man, you guys are about to get me in a whole lot of troubles. What's gonna happen? Because I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep the same energy. You guys. Anyway, we'll get there. Be sure to follow Devin on Twitter at Devin_Walker2. And I always talk about the things that I love. Talk about the things that you love. Promote what you love, not what you don't. So that's why we don't go there a lot of times. But it sounds like we are going to go there today. Also, where we're going to go today is I'm going to talk to the Pope. The Pope, Elijah Burke, will be here on Grind City Wrestling. Caught up with him earlier. You're going to love that. He's going to be in Memphis this weekend for our television taping. Get your tickets now, championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. Ringside are sold out. You can save $5 with the code word Pope. But I'm going to talk to Pope. First, I want to talk to you guys about the best wrestling that you watched all week. But
should I go first? Best wrestling I watched all week? Yeah. I think my photo tells you what's the best wrestling I watched all week. And I think it's been the best wrestling I've personally watched. I didn't want to give it to you every week, but I think it's been the best wrestling I've watched for the last 3 months. This Bloodline storyline has been the best thing going in wrestling for the past 15 years. I don't care what debate your refrigerator. I don't care. The best ongoing storyline from in-ring to promos to recorded segments has been the best wrestling I've watched. And they have killed it every single week. The teases, the super kicks, the teases to sway the other direction, and then another super kick, bro. Cinema.
I am so glad you started with that, because that is going to be the bullets that I need for later on when we keep the same energy, Devin. So, what a freaking segment. Again, like, you can end a segment, you can end a whole 2-hour program with a promo if it's done like this. So anyways, what do they do next, though? That's my question. So the Usos, do they beat the Tribal Chief in Solo? That's unheard of, but it makes the Usos, or does the Tribal Chief get the victory over the Usos?
I think
and whatever happens, what happens next? That's the thing that I love the most, is where are they taking us next?
Listen, it's great cinema. It's great storytelling. I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking last week on Friday when this all went down, and I was in a group chat. I don't know if it was with you guys or somebody else. Get a couple of different wrestling group chats going on, which I'm sure all you guys do. You know what I mean?
I'm jealous now. I had no idea.
And somebody is like, "Oh man, I think this one may have had Jason Potter in it." Actually, come to think of it. So, anyways, and I'm thinking, like, we're obviously building to this 1,000 days, right? And we're having the breakup. So, the only logical place I think it can go is now they are going to team up with some external third party say it be a Cody Rhodes type or something like that. Something else has to come into the mix. Like if you're gonna ask me, are the Usos strap worthy? Like no, they're great backup people. They're a great tag team. I don't think they can hold. Neither one of them can be that guy, but they can help. They can help make that guy.
There you go. So the best wrestling that Devin watched all week was SmackDown, the Bloodline. Looks like that's all going to go down on July 1st at Money in the Bank. Eric, best wrestling that you watched all week as Devin pays tribute to his tribal chief.
Okay, I'm going to get crucified for this.
Oh no, not crucified.
Hey, have you guys seen my Instagram reels though? Like my son is all in on the tribal chief walking into school.
I
like
did
this.
see that.
I got the number one. Oh, it's awesome.
If I didn't text you, I meant to because I loved that. That was awesome.
Yeah. So anyhow, I'm gonna get crucified for this, and obviously, the super kick, the double super kick, it was the best wrestling of the month, right? Okay, so that goes without saying. But I can't repeat Devin Walker here. I'm going to get crucified for what I'm going to say now, because this is going to lead us into receipts. Okay? Not only probably the receipts were my best wrestling of the week, aside from the super kick, but I digress. We will get there. All right? This is still a tease.
Oh yeah, brother.
We were in a group text saying not the best promo for CM Punk. Can we agree that we were in a group text saying that?
100%.
And I'm going to disagree. I thought it was a really good promo because he didn't come out full on baby face. It's great to be back. It's this, that, and the other. I loved the fact that he was being a heelish baby face, right? And
He's a heel, bro.
He is a heel, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of my point, is I'm saying he's going to come back heel, and he showed it. He showed the little bit of it. But while talking mad shit, but not lying about anything. He's serving receipts while he's doing it. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. This happened, this happened, this happened. I never lost the strap. Tell me where I'm wrong. Everybody says this, that, and the other, but did they do this? Tell me where I'm wrong. And without going too down a rabbit hole, he was shooting, but everything's a work shoot nowadays. So I really, really like the promo.
Yeah,
I like the promo too.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was expecting more from it. That's probably why I wasn't really like the counterfeit Bucks line was good because apparently he had to get that approved or whatever. But that was a good line. But other than that, like I really wasn't like moved by the promo. Like I thought Punk was gonna come out there and give us a banger, bro. Like a one of one all time promo. He comes out there.
Come on.
But he's never been the greatest promo.
It was good. Some of the little jabs that he took, I felt like they were shoot, but then they also could have been spun as a work. The guy is a total freaking heel, and we're gonna talk all about that show.
Really quick, he doesn't cut epic promos like say Cody can cut epic promos. The delivery is different, so the promo is never gonna be a Tokyo Dome 5-star promo. But the way he delivered it I don't give a shit what anybody says. I don't give a damn how you feel about it. I'm going to be real to me and to everybody here. There's anybody who ain't on board. I like that.
It's easy to do in your hometown in a sellout at United Center or wherever they were in Chicago.
You can't do every show in Chicago, AEW.
Right, that's why I say the guys definitely. Yes, that was Eric's best wrestling that he watched all week, and the best wrestling that I watched all week, guys, is AEW Collision.
Oh,
and we're gonna talk
Put the cap
all
on this
about
dude.
it. We are gonna talk all about it, but first, I caught up with the Pope, and here's how it went down. And joining me right now is one of the coolest dudes in all of professional wrestling. It's the Pope. What's up, Pope?
What's up, Dustin, man? You know how it is. I'm always doing what I gotta do to make it do, and I'm about to do that right here, right now with you.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Pope, what are you doing, man? It's been a minute. I'm going to tell you a story in here just a minute of how we know each other in a different world of professional wrestling. But what's up, man? I've been seeing you in Derby City Wrestling, staying busy. What's new for the Pope?
Well, again, making it happen everywhere I place my feet, if you will. Right now, the All Caribbean Heavyweight Champion with ACW. That's the Caribbeanized organization. Of course, making it happen, making it do what it do in Derby City Wrestling, but having my hands full, if you will, with the one Dylan Bostic. And now I'm looking forward to come in the midst of doing all my work for the Love Alive charity, which you guys don't get enough to see what I'm doing behind the scenes with this. But I'm going to bring Pope and I'm going to plant myself in Memphis and I'm going to stir up the pot, if you will, when I get there.
I love it. As you can see behind me, I am here at the Wrestle Center where you will be posted up at the VIP session. We're still getting ready. We got a lot of decorations with Pope all over it coming, which brings me to my next question. Memphis wrestling, man. Usually everybody has a story of either trading tapes or growing up watching it. Is there any historic value to the Pope when it comes to Memphis wrestling?
Well, I mean, it should be a historical value to everyone in the wrestling business when it comes to Memphis because it was such a huge staple for the world of professional wrestling. A lot of greats have traveled through Memphis, including yours truly, and a lot of people got their start in Memphis. So it's just great to be coming back to Memphis, whether you was there in Forum and other places, wherever that may be, man. The fans are like no other when it comes to wrestling in Memphis.
Oh my gosh, you just wait till you walk through that curtain. The Memphis wrestling fans are like none other right now. And I know they're going to be fired up to see you, I promise. And the first time that I met you, I told you was in a whole different life. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I'm going to bring up an old name of Sylvester Turkai.
Okay, that name's recently, actually, a couple of times.
Really?
Yeah, at Derby City, I had a young man to travel all the way from Cincinnati, Ohio, to bring some figures of myself and even that with Sylvester Turkai, which was probably my first or second action figure ever made by WWE, and he wanted me to sign it because he already had Turkai's signature, so that's pretty cool.
Where is Turkai? Before I tell you the story, what's he doing now? Do you hear from
Sylvester
him?
Yeah, he's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. When he left, he was doing some acting and he went back to MMA. So he was doing some MMA stuff over in Thailand and he went back to do a little acting before leaving that and just going back to a regular part of society. He went on to go to be a postman. I don't know if he was doing that prior, but he was working at the postal office. And then he went on and now he's a car salesman.
So before all of that happened, I was one of the victims at Memphis, Tennessee on SmackDown. I'm sitting at catering and Michael P.S. Hayes comes up and he's like, "Hey kid." And he called me by my name, Dustin. So I was like, "Oh, cool. What is this?" And he took me over and said that I was working with you guys. Well, so immediately Scotty Too Hottie, who is friends, of course, with Brian Christopher, Memphis, there's a connection and all that stuff. So Scotty comes over to me and he's like, "Hey, is he doing that spinning back punch?" I was like, "Yeah, that's the finish." And he goes, "Put your hand up." And I was like, "Oh, they told me not to." He's like, "He will knock you out. Put your hand up." So anyways, we had the match. I protected myself on the punch, but then afterward, you got a hold of me, and I think you gave me some sort of finish or something. So that's my tie-in of when I first met you, wrestling Sylvester Turkai. I believe it was on SmackDown, and that's my story. And usually it's like Sylvester Turkai. There's a name I haven't heard in forever. So I'm glad you were able to shed some light on what he's doing. But I know there's no way you remember that.
No.
But that had to be, gosh, over 10 years ago, 12 years ago, something like that.
Oh man, it's been quite some time. You're talking about 2007, so you're talking about 2006 actually. So you're talking about 17 years ago.
Ooh, look at me getting old and trying not to acknowledge it. Oh my gosh. But I remember I was so proud of seeing you getting in that opportunity and being able to shine and be able to be a mouthpiece and all that kind of stuff. And we're really excited to have you coming here in Memphis, Tennessee. And so we've been on social media and we've been promoting. Everybody's excited about the Pope except for one person. or one group. So we've got this guy named Reverend Ash Taylor, and he has a righteous path where he has followers that have to put money into a collection plate. It's a whole thing. But anyways, he is none too pleased with the fact that the Pope is coming and invading his righteous center, is what he calls it.
Is that so? And you say this guy calls himself a reverend?
Yes, and the fans actually call him Reverend Ash Hole.
Ah.
So that gives you an idea of the type of person this guy is.
Well, you know what? It doesn't surprise Pope that you have some who are, one in particular, I guess, when we talk about Reverend Hole, if you will. So we understand that there's a little doubt of sort. There's a little standoffishness, if you will, that is coming from one reverend. Why is that? That's because Pope is coming, and when Pope comes, Pope brings a certain vibe, and that vibe can often be attributed to light, and that light, if you will, is going to shine far above and beyond anything that Reverend Ash has pontificated to the members of his own righteousness, as he likes to call it. So when Pope gets there, I guess I'm going to have to come up in there and I'm going to have to do some cleaning, if you will. Pope said he's going to stir the pot, but I'm going to do some cleansing. I'm going to be washing, if you will, and then I'm going to lay my own hands, if you will, on the old reverend. I'm going to make him whole. You understand what Pope is saying?
Brother, there is no better way to finish than that right there. This Sunday, Memphis, Tennessee, at the Wrestle Center, 3296 Winbrook Drive, the VIP experience. You could get here at 12:30, meet Pope, snap it up with him, get an autograph, grab some food at Slam and Snacks before anybody else gets in the door. Those tickets are available in advance, Pope. They can save their seat right now, and there's not very many ringside left. They might be sold out by the time this drops. But ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com, if they use the code word Pope at checkout, they're going to save $5. And just to give you an idea, general admission is only $10. You can get in the door and see the Pope in action and maybe put Reverend Ash, Mr. Hole, in his place, if you will, but use that code word Pope at checkout, ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com. Any final words, Pope?
Pope's worked up. Pope's excited. I'm feeling electrified because I can't wait not to deal with Ash, if you will, but to deal with him in front of Pope's congregation, the Memphis congregation. I look forward to seeing each and every one there.
Love it. See you then, Pope. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Welcome back. The Pope. He's going to be in Memphis coming up on Sunday. Devin, I want to see you there, brother.
Yeah.
You've got to bring the kids, man.
I think I might slide. on Sunday.
Come on in there. It's going to be a holy war, if you know what I'm saying, with Reverend Ash Taylor and the Pope.
I'll try and bring Ethan this Sunday, man. I'm down for that. Can I bring him early and let him run around the ring?
Yeah. Why not?
Dude, all your workers and all your wrestlers.
You got to do it early, though. Because if all the kids are already there.
No. I'll do it early like I did last time. Ethan still talks about. Oh, and just FYI, I want to put over Dustin in Championship Wrestling for Memphis really quick.
Oh, here we go. Before you bury me here in a minute, you can put me over first. Okay.
I got to come in. This was maybe 6-8 months ago when I brought Ethan in, and some guys were spotting their matches early, and they're like, "Yeah, hey, Ethan, come on in here." And then they started letting them work on all your wrestlers. And then he was knocking down 2 or 3 of them, and one was counting 2 or 3. I mean, they crushed it with my son, man. They were awesome. I just wanted to say that.
I appreciate that. Get those tickets, ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com. I said before I talked Pope, the best wrestling I watched all week was AEW Collision, and we already knew the title of this podcast before we ever even started it. So we're going to keep that same energy.
Bro,
before
we go,
how do we want to do this?
I want to give you a cap for you coming on here and saying the best wrestling you watched all week was Collision.
Let me say,
damn well,
2 hours live. Some of the things that they did, my hat's off to Tony Khan. Awesome stuff, production-wise. Everything was super duper awesome. But the thing that we kept harping on is these stories, and they're driving me nuts because I feel like they leave so much money on the table. So there's 2 things here. Number one, we've been calling this arcade wrestling. Pick your player, right? You can put anybody in any match. They don't care about the stories, right? That's it. It's arcade wrestling. And then over here, WWE is telling such really good stories with such really good talent and all that kind of stuff. And they have the production value and everything. So it's kind of like, oh man, they've got it going on so good. Can these guys just give me a little bit of this? So anyways, love AEW, but there are some things that I would have changed about Collision.
Would you describe?
I'm pulling up receipts.
Would you describe Collision as what do you call it? I'll shorten it as a DS, as a reference drizzling shits.
I would say.
I gotta say that is the worst wrestling term of all time. I hate even hearing it.
Me too. That's why I said it, or that's why I typed it.
Where'd you get that phrase from, dude?
It's an old historic term in the wrestling business, the drizzling shits. You're not just the shits, you're the drizzling shits. But if you're the drizzling shits, then you're real bad. So, all right, let me. Do you want me to just start off at the top?
Yeah, let's start there.
Keep it 100.
The theme song for me, when it turned on, I'm like, what is this? It was a miss for me. That doesn't mean that I didn't like the show. That doesn't mean I'm not going to watch the show. But that means like, what? Why? It's almost like
I'm reading back these text messages right now as we're talking, man. I just got to say one. Drizzling shits is a stretch.
Bro, I was so confused when he said that the first time. I was like, damn, bro.
So I just thought that the theme song missed. Also, just to put it out there too, I always thought Wild Thing was a weird theme song for Jon Moxley, and even for the Blackpool Combat Club. What is Wild Thing? I love that song, and it's cool. It's cool for somebody, but I don't know if it was for him. But anyways, I digress. I did not like the Collision theme song. I thought that they should have had a familiar face or familiar voice at the commentating table. I think JR was supposed to be there. But JR fell earlier in the day.
Was jacked.
Man, his voice was jacked. And I was mean. I said I felt like that JR fell on his voice. And then I felt really bad when he tweeted afterwards that he's going to step away. And he's my favorite of all time. So I'm not being a hater, but his voice, he sounded like, yes, it was bad.
You have to be self-aware enough, right?
Yes. Yeah. I would go to the Grizzlies and say, hey, my voice is the drizzling hits today. Do you want me to do this? Because I think if you heard JR before, you would never put him on commentary the way that his voice sounded. Also,
I had to turn down too low too, by the way, the commentary. The crowd mic was way too hot.
Yeah, you were talking about that. I loved hearing the crowd. I don't know if it was too high or too low, but Wardlow losing. Why? Again, he just won the title a month ago. So Hobbs had the title.
Let's get into arcade wrestling. Let's get into the arcade wrestling because that's where this took the turn, right?
TNT title did not help Hobbs out at all. Zero, because he lost. He didn't even defend it. He just lost it right back to Wardlow. Then Wardlow turns around and loses it. I mean, it's like I don't know what they're doing with Wardlow unless his contract is coming up. The Aubrey Edwards thing drives me nuts because I thought there was so much more money on the table. Check this out, guys. On Friday's Rampage, he hits Jay Lethal in the head with a guitar. He's in a mat, in a tag team match, hits him in the head with a guitar. On Saturday Collision, she's a normal referee.
Yeah, that's a difference between storyline and.
We do know that there's a pay-per-view coming up, right? There's also a Wembley Stadium coming up. So why not build this Aubrey Edwards feud like she is really training for a tag team match? And then the payoff is to finally get that hated, nasty Karen Jarrett in the ring, and then at the pay-per-view hit somebody with a guitar. So it's cool, but it's just so fast that they could have made a lot more money off of Karen Jarrett. People hate Karen Jarrett.
It did not.
When she walks through the curtain, they boo her, right? They hate her.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me. I'm going to put ourselves over, but it kind of reminds me of Maria in these small towns. As soon as she'd walk through the curtain, you would not even imagine the things that they would yell at her. Karen Jarrett just has that ultra heat about her that people hate her. Almost like Vicky Guerrero would, excuse me, yes. So I just felt like there was so much more to that story than.
Listen, we can take that exact example and just keep going down the line with it, right? It's not unique to that. But I get to bring up the point is that everybody knows Superstar Bill Dundee, but back when he was a booker, from what I've gathered is he would just hot shot the territory, right? Gimmick upon gimmick upon gimmick, and not build this and like kind of waste a lot of things. It seems like you're hot shotting TV every week. Hence the reason, Devin, you coined it what?
Arcade wrestling.
And it might be on purpose. That might be what it is. And it's not just exclusive to Collision, because I was watching Dynamite, and in the opening segment, CM Punk just runs out and does a save. Are you kidding me? This is a guy that's been gone away for 7 or 8 months. He was the world champion when he left. Get that Punk. Let his music play. Let him open the show and then turn into a big fight. I felt like he just threw away his music and pop and everything.
I'm going to disagree with you right there, okay? Because this was part of the text last night, and I didn't chime in because I get kids and they're not going to bed and all this crap. But I thought that was actually really smart, because CM Punk can turn into what Roman used to be, way too much pushing it down.
Won't be in Chicago again for a minute, so you give him that one last pop.
But this is a made for TV. This is a made for TV product, right? And so what they are essentially doing is just when he dropped the mic, he says, "You guys want to fight? Collision Saturday night? You got it. We'll meet you there." They set it up. So what they to your point is they're not leveraging stuff. Now you got to revert and you got to say, well, they did leverage that moment to realize that they did not have a strong, aside from CM Punk coming back, they did not have a strong debut of Collision. Now they're amping it up to make sure they have a strong second show of Collision, and I'm here for it. It's not a story, but it's leveraging.
I agree with you 100%, but I just think that I would book this whole thing totally different. I would go ahead and I would give the people what they want right here, right now. CM Punk versus MJF, former champ versus new champ. I would give it to him because I don't know how long Punk's going to be around.
Or if you really want to give the people what they want, give them CM Punk and his little. If you want to put him with this little faction he has, because they made T-shirts and everything else, put him against the Bucks.
Yeah, and I don't think the Bucks are going to be wanting to work with him and stuff. Here's another thing. It's real easy for us to sit here and to talk about it after it's happened. I have seen posted more than once about it being reported by PW Insider that Dax Harwood is now involved on Creative Wing, joining the additions of Jimmy Jacobs, Will Washington, Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, and Ace Steel. So you've got Dax Harwood, Jimmy Jacobs, Will Washington, Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, Ace Steel, and Tony Khan all calling shots, all making creative.
That's what we call too many cooks in the kitchen.
Oh my goodness. Listen, AEW here, Memphis Wrestling here, right? If we got that many wrestlers together, put together a 1-hour TV show, there would be a battle royal by the end of it. You would get nothing done because everybody has their own agendas. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but everybody has their own person they want to push and all that kind of stuff. Holy cow, you've got that many people on creative?
Well, so bottom line this, Dustin. Bottom line it. We got receipts. What are you thinking about the AEW product right now?
Basically, go ahead, say it.
AEW is a lot of fun, but it makes no sense.
Hey, look at him with his peeper ass.
Well, no, I'm going to watch. I'm going to order the pay-per-view or go to Dave & Buster's
there's
and watch.
Corporate Dustin coming out again.
Let's talk about the pay-per-view. Is there anything, any story, any match that you really care about?
No.
Honestly, I'm being honest. Like, you don't watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, right?
I know.
We're AEW, WWE, and Impact is basically what we watch in Memphis Wrestling, right?
Let me double check. Let me see. I'm gonna double check the Forbidden Door card. Give me a second.
The Jungle Boy match has not even really been promoted. He hasn't even really been on TV in a couple.
Has it been on
weeks.
TV in has it been on TV?
Well, the Kenny Omega Will Ospreay.
It's gonna be a good match, but there's nothing there. There's no beef.
What do you think of the overall product of AEW?
I think it's fun, but I think it makes no sense.
Devin, would you happen to agree with that same energy?
I would not agree with that same energy. Give us your real opinion of AEW right now.
Well, no, this is let's start where this whole debate started, because they are coming to FedEx Forum in.
Whoa, no.
We talked about that on here.
Oh, they're not coming. We don't know the exact date.
We don't know the exact date, but okay. I know from AEW side. AEW side told me this. So
hypothetically, if they were to come to FedEx Forum, how many people would they draw for a Dynamite? Kevin,
let's talk about it.
How many people would AEW draw in FedEx Forum Monday night or Wednesday night Dynamite television?
Well, if it was a Dynamite, it depends on who they promote. That's the issue.
Well, they're going to promote the same people that they're promoting right now.
Yeah.
So if they're promoting the same people that promote right now,
and paid, not comp,
I would say 6,000 to 7,000. Because I think wrestling is like really popping right now, bro. I think the wrestling market is crazy. Because like even that WWE show was doing numbers like 2 times the numbers that it did last time. Because wrestling has become so.
I am not a hater. I hope they sell the building out. But if they drew 1,200, and we don't even know if it was 1,200 paid in Tupelo, and I know it was a house show, and WWE had what, 11,000? So
what's the population of Tupelo?
So you think, doesn't matter. Tupelo's a big wrestling city. Big wrestling city.
Matter, though.
Well, they did the same thing in Huntsville and all around Alabama too. But my point is if WWE did 11,000 at FedEx Forum, and I hope they can do this, but you think
which is
that
the highest gate for wrestling outside of a pay-per-view in the history of that building.
Gate in history of FedEx Forum when it comes to wrestling was WWE, right? The last Raw that was here was it SmackDown. SmackDown.
It was I'm not sure.
SmackDown. Anyways, that's not the point. The point is 11,000 was the best they've ever done. And we think AEW the first time is going to do 7,000?
I don't think it'll do 7,000 paid. I said it would do 5,000 because even at 5,000, the way they tarp it off, it's going to make that television still look really, really good. You can get to 6,500, 7 with comps, but you were saying they're not going to draw more than 3. I mean, I don't think they need to put any promotion out there to draw more than 3. Like 3,000 is not a lot of people. When you're talking house show as opposed to live TV, you know, it would be a major disappointment if they only drew 5. I think they could throw rock and water and draw 5.
Brother, I don't think they sell 5,000.
How many did they draw in South Haven at the Lander Center first time? How many people were there?
It seats about 8, so there was probably 4 to 5, wouldn't you say?
I'd say there was 3,500 in the building.
Okay.
Yes. Right.
So we think they're going to double that at FedEx Forum.
That was like month 3 of AEW. Like AEW was such a brand new product. It was under 6 months old at the time, and it drew 3,500 people.
I hope you guys are right, and I don't know where Devin went.
He gave us the timeout. There was a big trade that happened with the Memphis Grizzlies, so he is busy right now.
He's swamped, but that's all good because I didn't want to argue with him anyways. I don't think they sell 7. I don't know if they sell 5. I think they'll have more than 5 in there, but regardless of all of that kind of stuff, I mean, it's going to look great. If there's 3 in there, they're going to be able to shoot it in a way to where it's going to look great. So anyways, any more crucifixion?
You know, no, I mean, listen.
There's the defense here. I'm like,
well, here's the deal. Was Collision like the best show? No. It wasn't. Are they hot-shotting week by week? It really seems like an Attitude Era-esque show that things are just changing constantly, but the product was way better in Attitude Era.
I'm going to sound like a big hater, but like, why is everybody jumbled together in these groups?
Yeah,
like, why can't Ricky Starks be an independent, singles superstar? Why can't CM Punk come back on his own and have these verbal battles one-on-one? Why is it 6-man and 8-man tags? I mean,
yeah, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. Like, I'm not going to go as strong as I think we were going last week, but we were in the moment. Whatever, it was fun. Here's
I had a 12-pack in me too.
here's one thing I do have to say is it me or are the guns kind of starting to look a little bit like stars?
The note that I have here written for the guns is that it sucked that Billy's not with them. The other note I had from AEW Collision was sky blue. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, throw it in your Google machine while I do these plugs. Because here's what's coming up on Memphis Wrestling. Coming up this Saturday on Memphis Wrestling at noon on CW30. Also youtube.com/@Memphis Wrestling. United Wrestling Network's world champion. He was here on Grind City Wrestling just a couple of weeks ago. He makes his debut in the Wrestle Center, and he says he's calling out the gun show. So tune in and check that out. Then this Sunday, June 25th, the Pope is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Talked to him earlier. It is going to be a holy war when he squares off with the Reverend. Get your tickets at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. Use the code word Pope at checkout, and you'll save $5 per ticket. Then Thursday, July 13th, New Albany, Mississippi. We are coming for Ingomar Baseball. Rocky the Rockin' Redbird is going to make a special appearance out there for the Ingomar baseball team. Huge fundraiser. Also Sunday, July 16th, Dr. Tom Pritchard, the greatest wrestling trainer in the history of the world, who trained The Rock, among other superstars that you watch every single week on television. He is coming to Memphis Wrestling. That's July 16th. And of course, he's going to join us here on the podcast here in a couple weeks. Then Saturday, August 19th, Memphis Wrestling is tag teaming with the Pontotoc Run Club. We are fundraising for St. Jude. Those tickets and sponsorship opportunities available right now. championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. E, what do you got going on this weekend?
This weekend, man, hanging out with the family, running my gyms, Memphis Fitness Kickboxing. You can check us out online, memphisfitnesskickboxing.com, Collierville Fitness Kickboxing.com. Check them both out. Tell them Dumb Hair 5-star sent you. I'll hook you up with a friends and family discount. Also, exciting announcement for anybody that are cage fighting now. August 5th in Nashville, Tennessee. The UFC is coming to town for a big ESPN card. Really, and there's rumors.
What date? What date is it?
Saturday, August 5th.
Hook your boy up.
I'm working the channels. There may be a chance your boy may get called up to the big show.
Hey now, then I better be sitting cage side.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting cage side with John Morgan.
Yeah, that's what we got going. And new pod drops every single Monday. Cage side with John Morgan, myself, John Morgan, best MMA journalist in the game. Make sure to check it out. Taking the MMA world by storm. We are dropping great scoops. Go back, listen to 2 week ago episode. I broke down the Conor McGregor mascot story in depth. I had the inside knowledge nobody else had. Check it out. You won't regret it.
What a work. He's Eric McMahon. I'm Dustin Starr for Devin Walker, baby. That is Grind City Wrestling, and we'll see you next week. So long, everybody. See my championship belt up here.
I did.
And the axe, I was going to put a shotgun there because you talked about the shotgun stories.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I always say if there's when telling the story, if there's a shotgun hanging over the fireplace, it better be used at the end of the first scene.
Man, after the Elijah Burke interview, it should have been gone.